Good morning. How are you all today? Thank you for viewing with us and visiting with us again today. We're here for Bible study with Andre and Betty, so welcome to each of you. I would ask right off the bat that if you all are watching these videos, please hit your like button and share it with your family. And for those of you who have not subscribed, to please subscribe to my channel. I thank you all for those of you who have been complimentary about Andre visiting with you all last week. And he's here today on his faithful and spiritual mission or journey. So thank you all again, and we're continuing our studies from the book of 1 Samuel, and today we're in chapter 4, and we'll be looking at the Ark of the Covenant and what the Ark represents. And right off, the Ark represents the presence of God. And so we will find in this chapter that the Israelite people are in trouble because God is fulfilling his warning to the Eli, the priest of Israel. And through the prophecy of Samuel, the prophet, judge, and priest that's in this first book of Samuel. And so we're in chapter 4, verse 1. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. The word of Samuel coming to all Israel means that they heard that God had called Samuel to be a prophet by the word of the Lord, as in chapter 3, verse 21. So, and the word that Samuel has been called to be a prophet came to all Israel. Now, Israel went out against the Philistines to battle and pitched or set up camp beside Ebenezer. And the Philistines set up camp in Aphex. And Ebenezer means the stone of help. And it is very prominent in the scriptures, especially in the books of the Kings. And so the Philistines, they're in two different places, and the Philistine pitched in Aphex, verse 2. And the Philistines put themselves in array or in position against Israel. And when they joined battle, when they began to fight, Israel was smitten before the Philistines. So the Philistines was winning this battle. And they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men. So now 4,000 of Israel has been killed. Verse 3. And when the people were coming to the camp that is at Ebenezer, when the people were coming to the camp, the elders of Israel said, "Wherefore, for what reason had the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines?" So they're looking at what's happening as God doing the killing of the people. And they think it's because the ark, the presence of God, is not with them. Now, the presence of God is everywhere at the same time. He's omnipresent. But at this time, they did not understand that God is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. So when the elders of Israel said, "Wherefore hath the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines?" And this is their thinking. "Let us fetch or get or bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of Shiloh unto us, that when it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hand of our enemies." So they saw the Ark of God as a good luck charm or something, because the seat of authority was in Shiloh, and that's where the Ark of God was. So they're going to send for the Ark and bring it to Ebenezer, where they were camped. And the first time the word Shiloh is used as prophetic in the scriptures. Looking at Genesis 49, verse 10, it says, "The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come. And unto him, Shiloh, who is Jesus in his first coming, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be." So Shiloh initially pointed to the prophecy that Jacob gave over his son Judah and the tribe of Judah. So, but here, Shiloh is a place, and it's in Bethlehem, it's in Jerusalem or Palestine. And so they want to bring the ark, and they talk about it instead of him. They've lost the meaning of the word Shiloh as portrayed in Genesis 49, verse 4. "So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims, or the mercy seat. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God." They were in Shiloh at that time. Verse 5. "And when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again." So the ark had become something where they didn't really understand who God is, and they thought just by bringing the ark that they shouted because they saw the ark. Well, our ark is Jesus, and so they rejoice. When it says the earth rang again, it means they rejoiced. Verse 6. "And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, What meaneth the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of the Lord was coming to the camp." And so the Philistines is a Gentile nation that through centuries have fought against the nation Israel. Verse 7. "And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God is coming to the camp. And they said, Woe unto us, for there hath not been such a thing heretofore." So the Philistines understood that the ark represented God. Verse 8, "Woe unto us! Who shall deliver us out of the hands of these mighty gods?" They don't see God as being Father, Son, and Spirit. "These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness." This is what the Philistines are saying to each other. So they tell each other, "Be strong," verse 9, and quit or conduct yourselves like men, O ye Philistines, that ye be not servants unto the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Quit or conduct yourselves like men and fight. Verse 10, and the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, and they fled every man into his tent. And there was a very great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen, or foot soldiers, or boots on the ground. And so, even though the ark is with them, there are more people smitten. So now it's a total of 34,000 of Israel smitten by the Philistines. Verse 11, and the ark of God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain. And this is fulfilling the prophecy that God had given through Samuel to Eli in chapter 2, verse 34. And it says, and this shall be a sign unto thee, that thou shalt, that shall come upon thy two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them. And so God has fulfilled that warning to Eli. And there ran, verse 12, and there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army, and came to Shiloh the same day, with his clothes torn and with earth upon his head. And so Eli is in Shiloh. The ark was taken from the Israelites, and it will be in chapter 5 where the details of the Philistines taking the ark will be told. And so this man came running and came to Shiloh, verse 13. And when he came, lo, Eli sat upon a seat by the wayside watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of God. And when the man came into the city and told it, all the city cried out, because the ark of God was not there in Shiloh anymore. Verse 14. And when Eli heard the noise of the crying, he said, what meaneth the noise of this tumult? And the man came in hastily and told Eli. Verse 15 is parenthetical. This is just going to make a statement about Eli. Now, Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were dim that he could not see. So through aging process, he could no longer see. Verse 16. And the man said unto Eli, I am he that came out of the army, and I fled today out of the army. And he said, what is there done, my son? So Eli asked the man what had happened there. Verse 17. And the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there had been also a great slaughter among the people. And thy two sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God is taken by the Philistines. Verse 18. And it came to pass when he made mention of the ark of God, when the messenger made mention of the ark of God, that Eli, fell from off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and his neck broke, and he died. So Eli died when he understood that the ark of God, when the man had made mention of the ark of God and that it had been taken. For he was an old man and heavy, or he was obese, or we would say a fat man. and he had judged Israel 40 years. So Eli is the 14th judge of Israel during the time of the judges. Verse 19, and his daughter-in-law, Phinehas's wife, was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the report of the tidings that the Ark of God was taken, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and travailed, for her pains came upon her. So she went into labor. Verse 20. And about the time of her death, the woman that stood by her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. You have borne a son. But she, that is the Phinehas's wife, but she answered not. She didn't say anything. Neither did she regard it. She didn't even look at the baby. Verse 21, and she named the child Ichabod, saying, The glory is departed from Israel. The glory of the Lord is departed from Israel. This is what she named her son. And we don't see Ichabod anymore until the book of Ezekiel, where it shows how the glory of the Lord departed from Israel. Because the Ark of God was taken, and because her father-in-law and her husband, and because of her father-in-law and her husband. And she said, the glory is departed from Israel, for the Ark of God is taken. And so that's what Ichabod means, is the glory of God has departed. And no one wants to see the glory of God depart from our homes, our places of worship, and on our jobs, because the glory of God is the manifested presence of Him among us, and He also lives within us. But we have to be aware that we follow His instructions and not misuse things that He has designed for us to do. And the ark will not be taken when the captivities of the Israel come to pass in the southern kingdom. They'll name the articles that Nebuchadnezzar took, but the ark is not mentioned. And the next time the ark is mentioned is in Revelation, the 11th chapter, where the ark suddenly shows up. And I know millions of dollars have been spent looking for the Ark of God, but they won't find it because it was taken to heaven when Israel went into captivity. When they ended up going into captivity, the Babylonian captivity. And we studied that when I taught the book of the Revelation. So you could check back on the 11th chapter of Revelation and you'll get more detail about this. So thank you all very much. You all have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.